So
We just saw this movie called Presence. First movie of 2025.
let's go.
So, I guess I'll go ahead and give my thoughts first. It was advertised as a horror film, not scary in the slightest. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, it wasn't scary at all. No.
Yeah, it was 100% a drama film.
Yeah, a little bit of suspense.
Yeah, there was a little bit of suspense. I will say, like the final shot, one of the final shots gave me chills, like the one in the mirror.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I had chills
yeah.
down my whole body, but not like out of fear, but out of kind of emotion. You
Right,
know?
right. So what would you rate it?
I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Well, okay.
What would you give it?
I'll let you finish. Yeah,
Okay, so I thought the cinematography is super unique. I mean, I guess we'll go ahead and say it because like you were able to figure out in the first minute or two that it's shot from the perspective of a ghost haunting a house.
right.
And I shouldn't even say haunting. Like you shouldn't go in expecting it to be paranormal activity. You know, it's just like a very chill bystander. It's like if a random person died and they were a ghost, this is probably how they would behave. You know,
Right,
they're
right,
just
yeah.
going around the house, and depending on the event, they act very rationally to it. You know, like they see people they vibe with, so they see people they don't vibe with, they kind of act accordingly. My biggest gripe with I'll say positives first. Yeah, it's shot really well. The story was really cool. It was just a super unique film. There's some crazy emotional moments in it. And it was just a really nice, concise film that I felt was very like a breath of fresh air.
Okay.
My negatives was there's a big side plot that never went fucking anywhere.
Which one?
The dads. So the dad engages on a phone call and he's kind of disclosing some stuff, and you're like, oh, this shit's gonna play an effect later in the story.
Right.
It goes nowhere. I was really surprised by that. What my other thing was, I guess it was smaller scale than I thought.
I agree. Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be some more shit that would happen. Like it kind of escalates and then snaps. It's over.
Yeah.
Like there's a final closing, and then that's it.
Yeah, it kind of had like the paranormal activity kind of vibe where like we get a little bit of information in the beginning and then everything happens at the end and then it ends.
Yeah. It really is a drama heavy, but yeah, I don't know. I'm dropping it to a 7, just because there's like other ones like Hereditary that are family dramas that escalate to heights way crazier, and like this one does it good, but there's still some bad acting in it, which kind of dropped it too. So yeah, the side plot, like it didn't really go. But yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Like it was a good film. Not a must see, I would say, but if you're interested in like a concise, cool story, yeah.
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
All right. I'm honestly probably gonna go the opposite direction. I would probably give it like a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Unlike him, I had no idea what this movie was going to be about. I had heard that it was about the ghost perspective, but I didn't know that for about like a couple of minutes into the viewing of the movie, and I do see how it's like really misleading. Like from if I had seen the commercials, you're like, okay, this is supposed to be a horror movie. It's shot from the perspective of a ghost. You really think it's going to be a horror movie, but it's not at all, and it's super misleading. I didn't really have it that much, but I did get a disappointment when I realized it was just a ghost perspective, and then there was a scene where they're like when he moved the book wherever the ghost moved the book.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like a big crazy scene, but I didn't feel anything about it. Like they had this whole music score for it and all this. I was like, oh well, really nothing happens.
Yeah.
Acting, like the brother was horrible at acting. That scene where they were like the mom and him were talking, like it was so uncomfortable. But I like the dad's character. I like the sister. But like I don't know, I just feel like you said, like we were missing a lot of the plot, and like I feel like they should have explored more about the family dynamics, especially with like the divorce, like what's going on with that. Why are they going on a trip together, even though like he's like kind of on the outs? What's the shit that she's doing that she might get like sued over and like might affect him? Like I have like a lot of questions at the end, where like the end just kind of just like he dies. But I mean, the last scene where like she sees him in the mirror and she's like supposed to be like a non-believer the whole time.
Yeah.
She's him in the mirror. He's like, she freaks out. I love that. And I think
Yeah.
like the beginning ending I thought were great. And I've had like a bit of disappointment like in the middle where I'm like, okay, this isn't the movie that I thought it was going to be. Because like you have this opening shot of like the ghost moving through the house and you don't know like what's going on. It's kind of weird. And you slowly like put together that it's a ghost. I think that's like it's well done. They have all these long shots and all this like wonderful music scores. I think it was really cool, but then it just kind of devolves for me at least. And the like boyfriend quote unquote, he was kind of weird. I didn't really fuck with that at all.
Yeah, no, that was very uncomfortable. But I mean, that was the intention, though. And I feel like this movie had the less is more like mentality, and I think in some ways like it worked, like, but others like you really don't know shit at the end. Like you don't know about the friend Ryan, who comes over and is hitting it off with the girl, the sister, and is friends with the brother. Like you don't really know his backstory, I guess, or anything about him besides what he does on camera. And then you don't really know. Damn, I lost my train of thought. But there's just like a bunch of shit you don't. Oh, the ghost. The ghost itself. You don't know shit about that.
Like who was it?
Like there's a psychic that comes and says like a vague sentence on it, but she's still uncertain about it. You know, like.
And they had that weird like.
I don't know.
The psychic said like, oh yeah, it doesn't really know it's like past or present, so like it's kind of like it's like skewed.
Yeah.
But we didn't get any of like a past scene put in the present kind of thing. So like they touch on time as a concept, but have there's nothing about it. Just that we have like a random skip in scenes, and I didn't like that. I think like because what misled me in the beginning was like we had this like really long shot of them like talking about let's get in this house, this nice house. We learned that there's some kind of tension between the parents. And I thought we were gonna go for a movie that has a bunch of long shots of like choreographed scenes and stuff like that. But then it just like flips to like short like one-off scenes that kind of feel like they shouldn't be there, but they're there kind of thing. It was like I see what they're going for, and I think this movie will unfortunately try like it's a really unique genre. There's a really unique camera style. I think it's writing that too hard. I think if they redid it, it would be really amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Like they could have gone with so much more creative shots. Like this one, I don't remember a shot at all. Like 95% of the movie is just them watching the ghost watching them talk.
Yeah.
Just like right next to them.
I will say like there's one scene in the beginning where like they're first like looking at the house and they go to that mirror in the living room and the ghost is like kind of in the corner and the daughter like looks at it. And then the ghost runs away. I love that scene. That was like the only good one.
Yeah, that happened a lot. Like where someone would look at them and they're like, and then the ghost just backs up.
Like I'm thinking like of a good shot they could have done is like so we obviously have like some tension between the wife and the dad. There could have been a cool scene where like there's a shot of both of them and they're like both doing something like entirely different. Like maybe you can see that the wife is like looking up divorce lawyers while the dad is like looking up like relationship counseling, something like that.
Yeah.
Something you can like show that disconnect that they have with like some unique angles. But,
there's another gripe that just popped in my mind. There's a big like character shift in someone in the film in the final act where they act one way throughout the entirety of the film, and in the end they make a decision very indifferent with like who they were.
Just out of absolutely nowhere. I agree.
Yeah, so it was definitely a style over substance type film.
Yeah.
Hey, look at the cat.
So well, funny thing was when we started this film, we looked at Chris and I was like, all right, this movie we're only seeing good movies.
Yeah.
And it's like we're starting off with not the best one, not a bad film, but not
bad.
a good.
Not good. I think really
It was just mid.
if it doubled its length time, it would have been a way better movie. I think that's really the crux of it. But I mean, again, I think one of my biggest criteria for movies is they tried. Like you could tell that they tried to make a good movie here.
Yeah,
this wasn't something slopped together. Like I can respect it to a degree because this was a unique, different movie that they put out. So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with. I'm still keeping my. I'm still keeping my 7 just because like the moments like with the friend were just so like I was just like, my
Yeah.
jaw was kind of dropped. Like, even though barely anything was happening in those moments, like, I just didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. And I was totally captivated by those scenes.
Yeah. I'll go up to a 5 just because of how unique this movie is. I'll give it to them. It's not something slapped together, like I
Yeah.
said.
All right, so 7 and 5, average it out to be a 6 out of 10,
There you go.
just above mid.
That's
All
it.
right.